Hey, what's going on, man? This is Will Z Titwell with Speak Up Z. You are now tuned into another episode of Speak Up Z, the podcast. And the podcast where we talk about real things with real people. Everything from life to business to mental health and everything else in between. And as you can see, man, I'm going to be on a solo episode today. A little bit comfortable, man. Got my hoodie on, got my do-rag on, got my bifocals on. But, man, when it's your show, you can do what you want, man. Before we get started today, man, I definitely want to remind you of the amazing episode that we had last week with my guy, man. Man, we dropping so many episodes. I'm not sure what we dropped last week. What did we drop last week? Ooh, that's how it be, man, when you just grinding and you just in it, man. You just putting stuff out. And that's how you really gotta have your mindset when it comes to content. Like you gotta just be putting stuff out so much. Sometimes you can't even keep up. Well, I know we have a new episode that's gonna be dropping because this one is gonna be 2 weeks away when you actually get a chance to hear this and see this. Man, but by this time you'll have been heard of an amazing episode with my guy Chad Mackey, talking about how he's building his six-figure brand when it comes to catering in the food industry. And you also got a latest edition. I think I did a solo episode talking about how when you're losing business, that means something in your business model needs to change. And so, man, by the time you hear this one, be sure to go back and check out those couple of episodes, man, because those are going to be very, very special. Going to add a lot of value to my people, man, and that's the only goal is to add value from every stance, whether it's business, mental health, life, whatever the case may be, mental content creation, marketing. You got everything we talk about in the show. Um, but let's get right into it, man. Um, Tonight I want to use this platform again in a way that you guys have trusted me to use it so many times before, um, and hoping that I say something that's relatable, hoping I say something that hit home for you the way that I'm gonna just be pouring from my heart. And tonight gonna be just another vent session. A vent session about just some of the latest things that have been on my heart, some of the things I've been thinking about, some of the things I've been feeling, um, and some of the things that I want to say out loud that most people will never say out loud. And I think that's what makes this episode and this platform so special is that it's a safe space, and not only for myself but also for you guys. And so if you have anything that you want to get off your chest or that you want to ask or that you want me to bring up on the show, man, feel free to reach out to me, man. Shoot me a text, shoot me a DM. You know my number will be in the description for you guys to reach out to me directly. Uh, but what I want to do is go ahead and do a quick promo, and we'll do a quick prayer, and then we'll go ahead and hop right into the episode. So just bow your heads with me real quick and let's do this. Well, I'm gonna keep my eyes open, man, because I know sometimes my eyes don't close all the way for some reason. So I'm gonna keep my eyes open. But I hope this prayer speaks to somebody and helps somebody as we get ready to do this today. Um, God, we just want to say thank you. Despite what we're going through, despite what we're feeling, despite how life may be just whooping our tail right now, God, you're still so good to us. And it gets to the point, God, where sometimes, man, this life, it makes no sense. We have every reason to lose our faith, to start questioning things, to start breaking down, just to feel like we can do this all by ourselves, like you aren't real. But we know that's just not the case. And God, so I ask that the people that are going to be listening here tonight, that are going to be hearing this prayer, that you just be with them, that you remind them that everything is going to be just fine. That you remind them that they can just stick with you a little bit longer, even though things aren't making sense, even though some things they're questioning right now. They can just keep rocking with you. To be so beautiful in the end. God, I ask that you give me the strength and the courage and the power to say something tonight that speaks life into people. Tears may fall, stories may be told, but God, please, just lead me down the direction you want me to go this tonight. I only can do this with you, and I can do nothing without you. Just like all of us. With everything with you and with nothing without you, God. So we need you each and every step of the way. But please be with us. We need you now more than ever. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Oh man. Yeah, man. So tonight is going to just be a vent session of me just kind of talking about some of the latest things that have been happening in my life, some of the latest things that I've been thinking about, some of the latest things that I've been feeling, and things that just been running through my head. And again, like I told you guys, when I do my vent sessions, the best part about it, the most beautiful part about it, is that I'm able to say these things and get these things off my chest, and I don't have to worry about you guys judging me. I don't have to worry about not being understood, because everybody that supports this platform, everybody that enjoys my content, everybody that enjoys my shows, they get it. And the whole point of me doing this is not just to be somebody that's nagging or somebody that's just always having problems, but it's to say things out loud that I know a lot of other people in this world are dealing with, and saying it in a relatable way and hoping that not only that it helps you and that it motivates you and that it speaks life into you, but it reminds you that you're not alone. Because that's the reason why a lot of times a lot of people aren't willing to say the things out loud that they're feeling, that they're going through, and that they're really dealing with on a deeper level. They don't want to vent. They want to, but they're afraid that if I say it out loud, if I say what I'm really feeling, if I say what I'm really thinking, are people going to understand me? Are they going to judge me? Are they going to accept me? Are they going to love me the same? And that's a scary feeling, wondering if people are going to look at you differently from just being human, having human feelings and human emotions and human thoughts. And so that's why I feel like these vent sessions are so good, not only for me, but for the people that listen to them. And so I love you guys, man. Before we do it, man, I just want to remind you that this episode of SpeakUPZee, the podcast, is brought to you by Esquire Writing and Media, the one-stop shop hub, man, for everything that you guys need, from professionals to academic students, to my small business owners, to my nonprofit leaders. We have literally every service you could think of when it comes to writing and branding and media. They can take your platform and what it is that you need to the next level. You're a student in school and you need somebody to write those SOs. Oh, SOs. If you need somebody to write those essays, Esquire Writing and Media can do it. If you need somebody to help you when it comes to a logo, to a website, or just help you with your content creation on all your social media platforms, Esquire Writing can do it. You have a book that you want to write and you're not sure where to start, Esquire Writing Media can write that book for you. Man, we have so many unique services because we understand, man, people don't have time all the time, but they have things they need to put into the world, things that need to be done. They don't have the biggest budgets all the time, but they need things done. We understand all of these great things. And so if you just reach out to us at speakupzee.com/Esquire, or you can text us directly at 469. God darn it. What is that number? What is that number? What is the number? Can somebody tell me the number? What's the number? Reach out to us, man. Text ESQ to 469-851-7235. If you reach out directly to that number, somebody from my team will get back with you and they will take care of you. Again, this episode is brought to you by Esquire Writing and Media. Reach out to us directly, ESQ to 469-851-7235, or you can go to our website at speakupzee.com/Esquire. All right, man. Let's get into the episode. You know, a lot of things have been going through my head this week. A lot of things that I've been thinking about, and I've kind of touched on this before, if I'm not mistaken, where what I was talking about was how the person that I am, the content that I make, the platform that I'm building, the things that I talk about. Sometimes I'm so afraid and so hesitant to talk about those things. Sometimes I'm afraid to be the person that I wholeheartedly really believe that God made me to be. And the reason why I'm afraid to be that person, the reason why I'm so afraid sometimes to open up to new people that want to come into my life is because I'm afraid that, because of the things I talk about, the way that I talk about them, the way that I articulate my words, the platform that I built, the reputation that I built, and that I'm building rather. When people see you speak like that in such a way on the internet, your videos are going viral. You're talking about some of the most profound things, putting things in a way that people can truly understand and comprehend, and saying in a way that really pulls on the heartstrings. When people see you doing that, something I've noticed and something that I've learned over time, that I've been doing it for the last 10 plus years, is that people, when they finally do get to encounter you in real life, sometimes they forget that you're human. It's like when they finally get to talk to you as a human being, because of this persona and because of this platform and because of this brand that I'm building, it's like they almost expect me to be perfect. I guess that because I say things sometimes in such a perfect way, even though there's no such thing, even because I can articulate myself in such a way, even though I can talk about certain things when it comes to life and business and mental health and things of that nature in such a way, they forget that I'm human. And so when new people try to come into my life, a lot of times, y'all, I'm scared to let them in and really get to know me, not because I'm ashamed of who I am, because at the end of the day, I'm a human being. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm not going to do everything right. I'm not going to be this perfect person, no matter how bad you want me to be. But I think the thing that scares me the most is that if I open up to you, right, and show you who I am, and show you my scars, and show you my mistakes, and talk about the things that I've been through, show you just how imperfect I really am, that you may try to invalidate all the great things that I've done, that you might try to see me as a hypocrite almost for just being human. Because I understand how somebody could think that a person is a hypocrite when they get onto the internet, or when they have such a platform that's trying to motivate people, trying to uplift people, trying to help people, trying to teach people. But one thing I've always stood on is that I never portrayed to be perfect. I never portrayed to be somebody that I wasn't. Every time I step in front of this camera, I'm never trying to be somebody that I'm not, but I'm trying to show you just how real that I am. Because the thing about it is that everything that I talk about, everything I discuss, one thing I understand is that the reason God blessed me with the gift that He gave me and the way that I'm able to talk, the way I'm able to articulate my words, is not to be trying to impress nobody. It's giving me a platform to be able to tell my story. Because one of the realest things that I wrote is that when you have the chance and the opportunity in this life to tell your story, please tell it. Because you have no idea how it could be a survival guide for someone else. See, the difference between me and a lot of other people is that the mistakes that I make, the things that I do that aren't right, the things that I could do better, the things that I fall short in, the places that I need to improve in my own life, I guarantee those same people that are judging me, the same people that try to look down on me, the same people that try to act like they do no wrong, they make the same mistakes. The difference between them and me is I have the ability to be able to see what I did wrong, extract the lesson from what I did wrong, put that into words, and be able to share the experience with the world because I understand, like I said in the beginning of the episode, somebody else is dealing with the exact same thing. Somebody else is going through the exact same thing. Somebody else just made that exact same mistake. And if I can help them understand that what they just did, even though it may not be right, even though they may have made a mistake, even though they need to do better, even though they fighting their own demons and they're fighting their own imperfections in this life, like everybody else, that it's okay. That life is far from simple. And that whatever you're dealing with and whatever you're going through, just because you make that mistake, just because you do that thing, it doesn't make you any less worthy of giving to the world the things that God gave to you. Now, does it give you a right and give you an excuse to be a terrible person? No, it doesn't. But I think one of the most powerful things in this world is a person that understands that they when they did wrong, that understands when they made a mistake, and tries their best to correct it. There's nothing more powerful in this world than a person that can do that. And if you're able to find people in this world that you can open yourself up to, that you can be yourself around, that you can make the mistakes, that you can show your scars to, that you can show your imperfections to, that you can show when you don't do everything right, and they love you just the same, and they see your value just the same, and they believe in you just the same, those are some of the most rare people in this earth, in this world. And we all deserve people in our life just like that. Because nobody should have to be so afraid to just live that life and make mistakes to where they feel like they can't walk in their purpose because they're afraid that if they do that, people won't love them the same. You know how many people out there right now have a message that they want to give to the world, but they aren't able to do it because they don't feel worthy? You know how many people have a gift right now that they're sitting on, and the only reason that they sitting on it for as long as they have is because they made so many different mistakes in their past that people keep reminding them of, that people keep holding against them, that the enemy keeps let reappear in their subconscious over and over again, that they don't even feel like they're worthy enough to give that gift and that message and that story to the world. And you have no idea how many people are waiting on you to give it. Just because you made the mistake should not be the reason that you don't give it to the world. And that's something I have to constantly remind myself of every single day. Because when I make a mistake in real life, the first thing that people want to say to me that only know me from the internet is I'm a hypocrite. And what you fail to realize is that I never appeared to be perfect in the first place. I want you to know that I'm imperfect. I want you to know that I make mistakes. And everything that I share with you, everything that I talk about, is not to sound like I know it all, that I got it all together. It's to share this part of my story and my journey with you, or what I've experienced, or what I've seen somebody I love experience. So maybe you don't have to go through the same heartache. So maybe you don't have to go down that same path. Or if nothing else, to let you know that you're not the only one feeling the way that you're feeling. And I just wanted to clear that air, man, because that's something that I've just been going through my mind for so long. Because so many people make mistakes. And so many people allow those mistakes and then imposter syndrome and that feeling of inadequacy, that feeling of being a hypocrite, that feeling of that they have to go a certain amount of time in their life of being perfect and doing no wrong to start walking in their purpose. But you have no idea the reason that's going to validate you and allow you to be able to walk in that purpose in the first place is every mistake and imperfection and time of feeling inadequate that's going to help you walk into that purpose even harder. That's going to be the thing that's going to help you stand up in that. That's going to be the thing that's going to build that character. That's going to be the thing that's going to help you stand strong in that. Now, am I saying again that you get an excuse to be a terrible person or to be a person that doesn't be about their business? No, you don't. But when you get to that certain place and clarity of your life, where you start to able to learn your lesson from those things and be better because of those mistakes, then you onto something. Now, I don't think a lot of people get that. Man, I didn't realize I was gonna spend 10 minutes talking about that, but yeah, that really hit home for me. So I'm gonna keep going. But the next one, it actually happened today. Um, had a phone call earlier today, man, for an opportunity that I really wanted. Working with an organization that means a lot to me, but because of my busy schedule in the past, and you know, overloading my plate, and that's a lesson within itself. Is that sometimes You want to do everything. You want to be everything for everybody. You want to be everywhere. You want to be a part of as many things as you can, but sometimes you just can't do it. And sometimes when you try to do it, you end up burning bridges with really good people. And that's what happened to me. I burned a bridge with a really good organization and with some really good friends. Now, personal, we still good, right? But business is business. And I burned a really good bridge because I was trying to spread myself so thin and trying to be so many places and trying to focus on so many things that they fell to the wayside. And as talented as I am, I know I am. Sometimes your talent can be the very thing that gets in your way. And that's what happened here. And they told me that we could no longer work together because they just felt like that I wasn't committed. And when they told me that, man, it almost brought me to tears. Um, because I felt like I was missing out on something by not being able to be a part of that anymore. Like a part of me had lost something when they said that. It almost brought me to tears. But after I cried, I sat there and I prayed and I said, God, I don't know why you're doing it, but I get it. I get it. And the first words that popped into my heart right after I hung up the phone and I prayed to him is this. And this is going to help somebody. You're crying like I was. You're crying because that person or that thing walked out of your life. I don't know. I don't know who this is for. I don't know. You're crying because this person or that thing or those people walked out of your life. But you have no idea that God was only making room. Now, am I saying that to say that I wasn't the reason why those people walked out of my life? No, in this particular situation, I am. But maybe I wasn't even ready to be connected to them because God has something totally different in store for me. Maybe the run that I had with them is all that it was. Maybe the experiences that I shared with them in the past is everything that it was supposed to be. And even though I wanted to be connected to them again in this season of my life, that's a message for somebody. I wanted them to spin the block and be in my life again, right? There are certain people we want them to be in our life. We want them to come back. The people we reconnected in places we could reconnected with in the past, we want to reconnect with them again. We want that sometime in our life. But something we got to understand, as bad as you may want that, and you may not understand why those people and those things left. Maybe they had to finally leave for good out of your life. Because God is getting ready to do something bigger and better than what they could ever bring to your life. And I know it may hurt when they leave. I know it may cause you to drop some tears. I know it may not make a lick of sense why they did what they did. But you have no idea the blessings God has in store for you. And the hardest part for you in that process, when it happens, when they're being removed, when you literally see them walking away, people that you always thought would be there, things that you always thought would be there, things that you never thought would leave. The hardest part of that whole process is as you're walking away, as they're walking away, as they're literally on the phone telling you the news and the tears begin to roll down your face. People that you never thought would leave you. The hardest part of that process is keeping your faith and your belief and keeping your heart soft when the pain that you're feeling is telling you to do the complete opposite. When that instant moment of what you're going through right now is telling you to hate them, it's telling you to never want to talk to them again. It's telling you to be hateful, to seek vengeance, to seek revenge. When your heart is telling you that, one of the hardest things that you could ever do is that when every being of your body is telling you to be that type of person, but you decide to love anyway. You decide to forgive anyway. There's nothing more powerful than that. And so again, I don't know who this is for, but you may have lost an opportunity. Somebody may have walked out of your life. Somebody may not be there anymore. You don't understand it right now. You want to be petty right now. You want revenge right now. You want to hate them right now. But the best thing you can do is forgive, is to love, to keep your faith. And that's no easy thing to do. And it kind of reminds me of this next thing as I get ready to wrap it up. I was thinking about something I wrote the other day, and I said that somebody asked me, they said, "You've been through so much in your life. How do you still smile?" And even though my relationship with God has been a bit rocky, and I'm trying to do better, I just smiled at him and I said, "God," I said, "It's God. Even though I haven't been perfect, even though I've made my fair share of mistakes, even though life be just plain that whooping my ass sometimes, and I give in to my temptations." I heard the other day they said that the enemy knows exactly what to put in front of you. He knows exactly what you like. And he does to the T. And he knows that every part of you wants to indulge. And even when I fall short, after everything I've been through, everything that I've done, it's like God is still there. Like God still loves me. And I'm not trying to use that as a crutch or an excuse to do it. But I think one of the most confident things that we should know is that even when we are being human and making mistakes, he literally waits there with you and watches your heart and your faith and your mindset adapt and change. So that eventually, whenever that may be for you in your life, you can get closer to him. You can get closer to him. And I never understood it before. But when they asked me that question, they said that you've been through so much and yet you still smile. I said, how? I said, God. And I want to leave you with this. I'm in a season now where I'm learning again, right? But for all my business owners, my educators, whoever you may be, anybody really, don't feel bad when you go through those stints and those seasons where you're not learning. Because as important as it is for us to be learning and growing and evolving and changing, it's an important thing to do in this life. There may come a time when you might actually be in a season of applying what you already know. You may be in a season of your life where you're just living, and that's okay. You don't always have to be listening to a podcast to learn. You don't always have to be reading a book. You don't always have to be in somebody's master class. You don't always have to be talking to that mentor. Because one thing about this life, there's so many different types of curriculum in which you can learn from. That even when you're not trying to learn, you're learning something new. And most people don't get that. And so if you're in a season where you're not taking in new information about your business or about your profession or about whatever the case may be, about your spirituality, whatever the case, that's okay. Now, am I saying that you shouldn't be learning or that you shouldn't continue to keep learning and trying to learn new things? No, that's not what I'm telling you. But there may come a season in your life where you're simply applying what you already know, where you're simply living and allowing your lessons to come to you naturally. Because whether we want to admit it or not, life gives us one of the best curriculums that there is. And that's okay. But yeah, man, these are the things that have been on my heart. These are the things that I've been thinking about nonstop for the last week or two. And it was a rant, it was a vent session, but I pray that I said something, man, that speaks life into you, that helps you, that guides you, that uplifts you, that motivates you. If nothing else, that lets you know that you're not alone. Because I love you. I love you very dearly. And that's another episode of SpeakUPZee the podcast. And again, man, this podcast is brought to you by Esquire Writing Media, the one-stop hub, man, for all of your media writing and marketing and branding needs, content creation, ghost writing, academic writing, dissertations up to the doctorate level, all your branding needs, websites, logos, man, anything you can think under those umbrellas, Esquire Writing and Media can take care of it. And if you want some more information about what it is that we do and what it is that we offer and how we can be of help to you, man, please go to our website at speakupzee.com/Esquire or text the letters ESQ to 469-851-7235. And somebody from our team will be sure to reach out to you. And all this information will be in the YouTube description box and will also be in the audio description. Excuse me. But yeah, man, again, I hope this episode added value. Be sure to go back and watch last week's before you tap in, man. I love y'all. And until next time, I SpeakUPZee the podcast. Love.